press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello everyone, welcome to social science class. In the last period we have discussed the James Mill. He had written the book name A History of British India. He had divided Indian history into Hindu, Muslim and Christian history. The British history. And next, what are the superstitions which practiced in the ancient times? He has also mentioned. And next, the Indian history. Indian historians, they classified Indian history into ancient history, medieval history and modern history. We have discussed all these things in the last class. Next we are going to discuss what is colonial. What is colonial? In this book, all this book, totally part number 1, you will read about the way British came to conquer the country and established their rule. How did the British come to India? When did the British come to India? The British 1600 they came to India. When did the British come to India? 1600 for trading in the eastern countries with the permission of Queen Elizabeth. And how did they establish their rule? In the initial days, the British waged the war against the local rulers. The first war is the British Battle of Plassey. Through the Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar 1757-1764, the British conquered this place, Bengal province, and through the Carnatic Wars, the British captured this place. There are 3 Carnatic Wars which took place between the British and the Nawabas. And next, Mysuru province, which was ruled by Mysuru dynasty, Wadiyar dynasty. The British, there are 4 Anglo-Mysore war which took place between the British and the Mysore Wadiyars, Tippu Sultan, Hyder Ali. Finally, they conquered these places. And next, Maratha war. By 3 Anglo-Maratha war which took place between the British and the Marathas. They conquered this place also. Sikh war. This place also they conquered by the Sikh wars, 2 Sikh wars. All India which were under control by the British and established their subjugating local Nawabs. Nawabas, this is one of the post name. The Nawabas who ruled over the West Bengal. And the Rajas, there are number of kings who ruled over the different regions of the country. All the Nawabs and kings, Rajas, were exploited by the British, and you will see how did the British control over the India and how did they subject the Nawabas and Rajas. You will see how they established control over country, economic and social control. How did they establish control over the country, economy and society? How did they control economy and society? By waging wars, and also cleverly they employed various treaties and next various negotiation methods, and they controlled over the economy and society. And next, the British also collected revenue. Which means income. Why did they collect revenue? To meet the expenses. What are the expenses? They have to take care of their army. They had to take care of their officers, their officials, their officers. These expenses were done through the collection of revenue. Why did they collect the revenue to meet their expenses. Why did they collect the revenue? To meet their expenses. Bought the goods they wanted at low prices. They wanted very low prices. Bought the goods from Indians such as cotton, spices items, muslin cloth, minerals, iron ore, whatever the things, whatever the goods, they bought very low prices. They wanted very low prices because in order to export their country, and next very lowest prices produced crops they needed for export. They imposed the farmers of India, on the farmers of India, you have to produce only for commercial crops, whatever it. ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ನೀವು ಓನ್ಲಿ ಕಮರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಕ್ರಾಪ್ಸನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೇ ನೀಡೆಡ್ ರಾ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಟು ದೇರ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೆಂಡ್. In order to run their industries, they wanted raw materials from the India, such as cotton, iron ore, gold, silver, muslin cloth, whatever it. They needed raw materials, very lowest price, and export. They needed for export to England. You will understand. These are all will be understood in this chapter. Understand the changes that came about as a consequence. What were the changes? What were the changes which happened? What were the changes in India due to the administration of British? There are a number of changes the British rule about values and taste. What were the values? Values ali change aitu. Values was changed. And next, what were the British values? Equality. Equality came into existence. Next, freedom came into existence. There was no freedom before. There was no equality before the British came to India. There was no freedom before the British leave from India. And next, fraternity. We are all Indians, brothers and sisters. That is called fraternity. And next, mutual respect. That it was brought from British administration, and the rule of law, and next tolerance. These are all the values. Which are the values? Equality, fraternity, freedom, and next law, rule of law, tolerance, which were borrowed from British administration. These are all the changes for the consequence of British administration. ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ನ ಕಾನ್ಸಿಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿಂದ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸಲ್ಲಿ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಯಿತು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮತ್ತೇನು ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಚೇಂಜಸ್? ಕಸ್ಟಮ್ಸ್. There was a changes of customs when the British came to India. What were the customs? Pub culture. Nowadays, the people, they are going to pub culture, which is brought from British. And next, cheese rolling, afternoon tea, morning dinner, dance, pub culture. These are all the cultures, these are all the customs which were brought from British. And next, tastes. What are the tastes? There are people nowadays, irrespective of male and female, they wear different type of food, different type of fashion style. Next, food style also, which has been changed. Food style nowadays we are eating gobi manchuri, pani puri. These are all we are eating, which were borrowed from Western culture. And next, dress style also has been changed when the British came to India. These tastes. And next, we have changed our tastes, which was borrowed from British. And next, customs, practices, which means there were practices we have to celebrate. We celebrate every day. Indians every year they celebrate Deepavali, Yugadi, Panchami, and also the Western celebration also, which were included to Indians, which were there. New Year Day, Christmas, these are all we are celebrating. These are all the customs, traditions and values, tastes which were borrowed from British. And next to, when the subjugation of one country, when the subjugation of one country which was ruled by another country, these are all the political. These leads to kinds of political, which was, what is political condition? Nawabs and Rajas, these political, they were subjugation by British, Nawab and Rajas, collection of the revenue, this economic changes, this economic changes. And next, social and cultural. What are the cultural changes? We have changed our tastes, we have changed our customs, practices, tastes. These are all culturally we have changed when the British administration came into existence. We refer to the process as a colonialism. What is colonialism? When the subjugation of one country by another country. When the subjugation of one country by another leads to these kinds of changes: political, economic, social and cultural changes. We refer to the process of colonialism. Process of colonialism, their economic interest. You will, however, find that all classes and groups did not experience. All the classes, middle class, higher class, middle class and lower class. All the classes and groups did not experience. ಇದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. ಏನಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲ? ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ವೇ. ಚೇಂಜಸ್, some classes, some class and some groups have changed, but some classes, some groups have not changed. That is why the book is called Our Fasts in plural. There are two. One is changed group and class, another in not changed groups and class. That's why this book name is Our Fasts. There are two persons. Okay, how do we know? Next, how do we know? How do we know? How do we know? How do we know? What sources do historians use in writing about the last 250 years of Indian history? How did the historians write their history about 250 years ago history? The sources are very important when we write the history. When the historians write history, the sources are very important. What are the sources? There are two types of sources: written sources and archaeological sources. Written sources and archaeological sources. Administration procedures records. One important source is the official record of the British administration. The British believed that the act of writing was very important. Writing. The process of writing was very important. The British believed that one important source is the official records of the British administration. Official records. The British maintained the official records. Administration. The British believed that the act of writing was very important. Whenever we talk, it has gone. If we have not written, it has gone, whatever we talk. But there is a recording. You see, whatever time you have free. Yes, that's why the writing is very important. Every instruction, and next to plan, every instruction, plan, policy. Next, investigation, policy, decision. Next, agreement, and next to, it had to be clearly written up. instruction, whatever the instruction which were given by officials of British, it has to be clearly written up, okay, writing up. And next to plan, what are the plan which was implemented by British administration, it has to be clearly written up. And next, policy, what are the policy which was done by British their favor, this policy has to be written up. Next, investigation, what are the investigation which was going on, this investigation has to be written up. And next, decision, what are the decision which was taken by British, this decision has to be written up. And next, agreement, there are agreements which were made between the local rulers and the British, this agreement which has to be written up. Therefore, the writing sources is very important. When this was done, things could be properly. If we have written anything, any documents, any policy, any investigation, any plan, any instruction, that is going very, could be properly studied and debated. Studied and debated. We can study and next we can debate it. Based on these records, we can study this instruction, plan, policy, investigation, decision and agreement, and we can debate on these issues. This convention produced an administrative culture of memos, notings and reports. It creates all these writing instructions, it creates memos. What is memos? Written message from one place to another place. And next, what is notice? Notice means written instruction. And next, what is report? Give spoken or written account of something that was observed. On this basis of observed, some gives a spoken or written account of something that is observed. This is which means noting reports, memos, notings and next reports. These culture, memos, notings and reports, this culture which was produced from written documents. Why do we need written documents? One question. Why do we need written documents? Written documents are very important. Why? Because any instruction, plan, policy, investigation, decision, agreement, this has to be written up. Why? Because we have to debate. One, these things could be properly studied and debated. We can study, we can debate when we have maintained the written documents. Clearly we have understood, I think. Next, the British also felt, means written document are very important. Why? If we have maintained the written documents, on this basis we can study, we can debate on these issues. What are the policy which was implemented by British? Example, subsidiary alliance, doctrine of lapse. What is subsidiary alliance? If any Indian ruler, what is subsidiary alliance? A military agreement between local rulers and British. By this way, British captured many places. This policy has to be written. They had written, that's why, therefore, so we are studying now in the book of 8th standard subsidiary alliance and doctrine of lapse. Therefore, written documents are very important. Why? When we maintain the written documents, we have to study, we have to debate based on these issues. And next, the British also felt that all important documents and letters needed to be carefully preserved. The British also felt that all important documents and letters, whatever the documents which was prepared by British and letters, they have given the letter to the local rulers. The local rulers which were under control by British, they had given the letter to local rulers. There was any agreement, fact between the local rulers and the British, and next letters and documents, whatever documents needed to be carefully preserved, protected. So they set up record rooms attached. How did they preserve? How did they records? Next, letters and documents. Letters and documents. Needed to be preserved. How did they preserve? Hangadre hege preserve ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು? So they set up record rooms. One marks question. How did the British preserve documents and letters? Therefore, they have set up record rooms. In the record rooms, they have preserved the documents and letters, whatever the documents, letters which were taking place between local rulers and the British. They preserved in the rooms. And next to all the administrative institution, from central to local, which means in the taluk level, no, taluk, who is the head of taluk? Tahsildar is the head of taluk. Tahsildar office, there was a Tahsildar office. Administrative institution, the village Tahsildar office. All the village documents were preserved in the, taluk office. They are called as village Tahsildar office. Village Tahsildar office. Every taluk has taluk office, which is led by Tahsildar. Tahsildar is head of the taluk office. All the villages records has to be preserved in the taluk office. And next, taluk office ಮೇಲೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು the collectorate office, which means district office, DC office. All the districts are preserved in the district office. All the district records are preserved in the collectorate office. There is a commissioner's office. Commissioner office. And up next, ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಕಮಿಷನರ್ ಮೇಲೆ the provincial secretaries. The provincial secretaries, institutions. And next to the law courts. The province, there are four provinces can be seen in Karnataka: Bengaluru, Mysuru, Kalaburgi, and next to Belagavi. There are four divisions. Every division has a record room, the province room, commissioner room, collection. How did the British preserve their documents and letters? To the record rooms. There are types of record rooms from village to country. Taluk office, there is a taluk office. Tahsildar is head of the taluk, taluk which was head by Tahsildar. There is a taluk office. All the records of villages needed to preserved in the taluk office. And next the collectorate, which means district office, all the district records needed to be collected in the district office. Next commissioner office and the provincial officer, all the province, there are 4 province of Karnataka, all these records preserved in the provincial office in the British era. And next to law courts also there is a law courts, high courts and next Supreme Court. Supreme Court is the highest court of India and which is located in New Delhi. And next to the High Court is the head of our state, which is located in Bangalore. Supreme Court is head of our country, which is located in New Delhi. All these courts, whatever the court records which are preserved in the institution of their record rooms, ಅವರ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ರೂಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದು ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಪ್ರೆಸರ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವು. ಅಂಡ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ archives and next to specialized rooms, those who are, what are the 2 important specialized rooms? Archives and museums. Archives and museums. What is archive? A collection of historical documents. A collection of historical documents. A place, archive is a place, a collection of historical records. And next museums, a collection of historical physical records. These are the 2 important specialized which are the 2 important specialized institutions. One is archives and another one is museums. Archives, which means a collection of historical written documents. Museum, which means a collection of physical sources, historical sources. Which are the 2 important? Archives and museums. And next were also established to preserve important records. They maintained the records in the record rooms. There are types of record rooms, and specialized record rooms are archives and museums. Okay. Next to letters and memos. Letters and memos are moved from one place to another place, from higher to lower. Letters and memos that moved from the branch of the administration to another in the early years of the 19th century can still be read in the archives. Okay, letters and memos. Letter and memos. Letter and memos that move from one branch of the administration to another branch. Whatever the decision they have taken, they send through the letters and memos from higher office to provincial officer to next to district office, next to Tahsildar office. Whatever the letters that moved from branch of the administration to another branch of the administration in the early years of 19th century, 1800 to 1900. This period you can study, can still be study, read in these archives. You can also study the notes, reports that district official prepared. You can also study, avannu kuda study ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Notes and reports that district official prepared. Whatever the district official, which means DC, what they prepared records, whatever the administration, whatever the memos, letters which was prepared by district officials, we can also still see, we can also study in the official office. And next, instruction and directives that were sent by official at the top to provincial administration. At the top, whatever memos, letters, this sent from top to bottom, this can be still seen. And next, in the early years 19th century, these documents were carefully copied out and beautifully written by calligraphists. What is calligraphists? Those who write calligraphy, they are called as calligraphists. What is calligraphy? Calligraphy is a visual art related to writing. Related to writing. In the earlier days, documents were carefully copied. ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. How? Beautiful written by calligraphers. They were writing very beautifully. And next, that is by those who specialized in the art of beautiful writing. Those who, the calligraphers, they were specialized in the writing, calligraph writings. By the middle of 19th century, with the spread of printing, the printing mission which was introduced mid of the 19th century, multiple copies of these records were printed. Multiple records. This calligraphy writing has been printed as multiple copies of these records were printed as proceeding of each government report. Each government report. They were maintaining each government, whatever the government which was done, which was completed, their record also has to be maintained in the by the calligraphers. Okay, printed by the printing. These records were printed as proceedings, which means events of each governments. There are events which were done by each government. ಏನೇನು ಇವೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೋ ಆ ಇವೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಳೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವು, ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವು, ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವು, ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸಿಂಪಲ್. Okay, whatever the proceedings of each government department has been printed when the printing mission was introduced. Okay, this is the administration procedure record. Thank you. Next, we shall discuss the surveys become important. What we have discussed today class, what is colonial, and next, what is the importance of records. Sources are very important. Why? Okay, thank you.